Meeting of the Board of Education at 7:03 p.m. with Blair, Cruz, Fikes, Snaw, and Orozco present. Before we begin, please silence all electronic devices and note that these proceedings are being recorded. Pat.
The board met in closed session from 4 p.m. to 6:50 regarding conference with legal counsel existing litigation, conference with legal counsel anticipated litigation, student discipline matters, conference with labor negotiators, ACT and CSCA, public employee discipline dismissal release, and public employee appointment, director of risk management and human resources, director of purchasing and high school assistant principal, and public employee performance evaluation superintendent. The board voted to appoint Anna Hamilton as director of purchasing. Effective date is May 18, 2017. By a vote of 5-0 with Fikes, Blair, Naw, Orozco, and Cruz voting yes, and adopted Resolution 2016-2017-36 to terminate a classified employee identified by number 3723, effective May 5, 2017, by a vote of 5-0 with Fikes, Blair, Naw, Orozco, and Cruz voting yes. No further action was taken which requires public disclosure.
Thank you. This evening, leading the Pledge of Allegiance is Mr. Lane Joseph.
Thank you. Please stand. Right hands over your heart. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Okay, we're at presentations, and our next two groups of students are really a testament to their hard work and critical thinking skills. They give us another opportunity to shine as a school community, and that's always a good thing, of course, for Chino Valley Unified School District. Our first group of students are the students from Rhodes Elementary who just qualified for the 2017 World Finals of the Creative Challenge competition on May 24 through 27 at Michigan State University. Wow! And tonight we have their principal, Dr. Tracy Freed. Would you please share some of their achievements? And please let them stand in the front. Let's highlight them.
Come on over.
So that everyone can see who they are.
They wore their fantastic shirts, too.
Those are pretty cool.
So we are excited and proud of our Odyssey teams. This team is just one of many that participates in the Odyssey of the Mind competition that highlights creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, all of our 21st century skills. And these scholars practice all year long. So from the beginning of the school year, they form their teams and practice all year long to compete in competitions throughout the year. And this team, they actually came in, let's see, you were, obviously you were first at the at the state competition. So now they're traveling to Michigan for the World's Finals, and that will be May 24th, starting May 24th. And they also, this is not their first year, it's their first year at Worlds, but it's not their first year where they were together as a team. Last year they placed first at the regional and fifth at the state competition. So they've been doing a fantastic job. And I want to introduce our scholars. So we have Nicholas Mexavon, Sophie Miller, Colin Kawakami, Audrey Chandra, Cheryl Chung, Kieran Wong, and Austin Liu. And we also have our fabulous parents and coaches, Miss Mexavon and Miss Chandra, who practice and lead them. So I'm going to have them talk a little bit about their division where they do the ready, set, balsa build. So if one of you can come over and just explain a little bit about what you guys do so everybody knows.
Well, Odyssey of the Mind is a program where you can show your creativity and do multiple diversions of problems. Ours is Ready, Set, Balsa, Build, and our problem is that you need to build a replica of a balsa structure, and it has to be colorful and bright and vibrant. So there is Mother Nature dying, and Father Time and the Watchdog have to build a tower to save her. Our theme is that you always need to be precise, and you always need to recycle. There are three main characters. There's Cheryl, who's Mother Nature, and Nicholas, who's Father Time, and me, who is Watchdog. And the costumes are made out of recyclables like trash bags, chips, and cardboard. And we also used some of the crushed balsa wood that crushed in when we were practicing to build Cheryl's crown.
One of my favorite props were the recycling center, which was used in the play for as Father Time's machine to help save Mother Nature and to use all of her recycled chip bags that she's buried in to save her.
The rest of the props we have is our backdrop and a telephone. The telephone is what we use so Father Time can text Mother Nature, and the backdrop is like we used it as the background. Like there's like two sides. One side is for using it because of the earth is covered with trash, and then after when Mother Nature's saved, the earth is all clear again.
Our balsa structure was used to hold 700 pounds and more in our Odyssey competition, state competition. Our balsa structure right there is more than 15 grams weight, and it was very similar to our structure that we used in state competition.
Our balsa wood structure is 8.25 inches tall. We used 4 different sets that are different lengths that we are required to use for our structure. Our structure is able to stick together by using Gorilla Glue and Elmer's wood glue. We got the idea of making our structure by a past year and from looking on the internet. How we cut the wood is by using an X-Acto knife.
Good job.
What I learned about Odyssey is that I got to make props and my favorite thing to do was to make costumes, and also I will explain about spontaneous. So spontaneous is basically a on-the-spot challenge problem that you have to do, and only the team knows about it, and common answers are for a little bit of points. Creative answers are for some more points, and humorous answers are for a lot of points.
So as you can see, one of the 4 C's I left off was communication, but they obviously have to do a great job because part of the competition is they have to explain and talk to the judges and tell them what they did so that the judges know it was their work behind everything they've done. So we are very proud and thank you for inviting us, and we wish them luck in Michigan at the end of this month.
That is wonderful. you talk about communication, and I can't help but, I was going to comment on that because they looked like they felt comfortable up there speaking. I mean, I think I've seen more adults more nervous than some of them.
I forgot to mention, what grade are you guys in? Fourth grade.
That
Yeah.
is awesome. Mr. Na, you have a comment?
Yeah, I mean, we're so proud of these students here, and they're only fourth graders. But behind our excellent students, we have great parents. Especially with all this of mine, we need all these contributions that we can give, and you have given to them. So let's have parents stand up from Rhodes, and also teachers from Rhodes.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's just such a blessing to come together with one vision, having our children being successful and what they do in the future. These kids will go to our top universities, become a top scientist, who knows, or doctors who could really save lives of ours. So thank you, thank you.
Mr. Cruz.
Very smart. And, creativity. So out of nothing, you have an idea, you draw it, and you write it, and it becomes reality. You build it. And life, that's what pretty much life is about. There's always problems. And how do we solve it? We think of an idea. And we create something, and there it is.
Yes.
So you guys think out of the box, which is very impressive. And always think out of the box. Because as you become men and women, you'll do well for our humanity. So good job.
And pretty neat T-shirts, too. Thank you. Congratulations and good luck. We can't wait to hear when you get back about your successes. Our next and final group of students, we are highlighting are several multi-talented students who participated in the Tri-County, and that covers San Bernardino, Inyo, and Mono counties STEM, Science, and Engineering Fair. So I know that the principals are in attendance today, and so perhaps each principal would like to stand up and share about their students. Okay, I'll call you out if I have to.
Okay, so you were talking about those adults that are a little bit more nervous than the students
that would be the one
that are talking. So
so let's
we'll
have them
all
come and
we'll
stand
have
in
all the
front. Let's
girls
highlight them.
and competitors come up. This is my second year to get to address the board regarding the two students that have competed in this year's science fair. Because last year, as fourth graders, they also went as far as they could go, and I believe got the gold medal, correct? Which is awesome. And this year, we have Kira Pai Chen Pang. Please step out, Kira. And we have McKenna Bailey. Come on out. And I would actually like to give them the opportunity to, would it be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd love for them to get the opportunity to talk about their project because it is amazing. And so come on over, girls.
So as the girls go over, I'll remind everyone that this is Mr. Rummel from Wickman Elementary.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for introducing me. And thank you for presenting to our students. Thank you, board and cabinet.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys want to talk about your project?
So our project was a test of the peripheral vision and your dominant eye.
Oh.
And so we basically tested a person's peripheral vision with a kind of protractor type thing, and we made it big enough so we could test somebody's peripheral vision with like all the angles, and we like tested it with shapes and they were all red because we found out that red was easiest seen. So we tested a person's peripheral vision, then we later tested their dominant eye. We tested their dominant eye with a pumpkin that we had So then you would just put your hands in a triangle and look through it. Then you would close one eye, and the eye that you still see the pumpkin with would be your dominant eye.
Oh, interesting.
So we basically took all our data and we put it on Microsoft Excel, and we found many things. Okay, so we found out that that the left eye dominant people were better, and the right eye dominant people, their left eye was also better too. So overall, the left eye was generally better.
Ah, interesting. That must be why I have this monovision. This is my dominant eye, my left side. What grade are you in?
We're in 5th grade.
5th grade. Wow. Great job.
And I would just like to also thank our parents here that are here with these students. And
So let's have them stand
Yeah,
up.
let's have
Yes.
them stand up.
please
Wickman.
stand up.
Yeah.
Any Wickman parents.
Great job. Mrs. Tassanant, if you would just stand up for 1 second. Mrs. Tassanant is also one of our parent volunteers, and she not only helped with this science fair project, she also helped all of our other students who were competing as well, and has really been just a champion for the science fair at Wickman, and it's growing. So we keep getting more students involved, and I just want to thank you so much. So thank you.
That is awesome. Mr. Nall, you have a comment?
Yeah, can you come to the podium and tell us what you do in a full-time basis?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chirishan Tassanan, and I'm a science teacher at Chino Hills High School. And I teach science, biology honors, and human body system in the Health Science Academy. And I truly believe that science fair is very important. It helps students with critical thinking. So I make my high school student do it. And some of them really enjoy it. And we have many students that did well at the regional level and even go on to state level. So I really appreciate Mr. Rummel and Mr. Nelson, encouraging our students to do really well, because all of them going to come to Chino Hills High School and they're going to go very, very far. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sarah Peckham, the principal at Howard Cattle, and tonight I would like to present to you Lillian Todd. Lillian, you want to come on up? So Lillian is a 5th grader. Lillian is a 5th grader at Howard Cattle, and this was her very first year competing in the science fair period at our school, and then she went on, of course, to the district level and then to the county level.
Wow.
And when she went to the county, she actually achieved the sweepstakes, which is first place in her division for her science fair project, and she brought home this mega trophy that was almost as big as she is. So we're so proud of Lillian, and I'm going to give you a second to tell a little bit about your project. But if her parents could stand up, please, and her sister, Audrey.
Wow.
So Mr. and Mrs. Todd are incredibly supportive, not only of their 2 children at their 2 children, but of our entire school population. They're very involved in our school. So I know she has a lot of support at home too that helps her get through they got her to where she is right now. So do you want to tell us a little bit about your science fair project?
My science fair project was when you mix yeast and sugar together, which produces carbon dioxide gas, and I measured how much carbon dioxide gas each sugar produced when mixed with yeast.
Wow.
Okay.
When I measured the sugars, dextrose ended up making the most carbon dioxide gas. I tested about 12 sugars.
Thank you.
Very good.
So when we first looked at Lillian's science fair project, we thought, how in the world did you come up with this idea? Because what a unique idea for a science fair project. We hadn't seen anything like that before. So we are very proud of Lillian and her accomplishments. Thank you very much.
That is wonderful, and I'm going to pretend like I understood what you were explaining.
Good evening. I'm Shauna Dinkins, and I am principal of the Calero Preserve Academy, and I am excited to introduce Alexandra Olivar. In my 4 years as principal at Calero, I have had a member of this family always place first place. She is very bright, a high achiever, but not only that, she always models citizenship to her peers and respect to her teachers. So, Alexandra. Now, don't show your principal up because you know you're super smart.
So my project was about soundproofing using different household materials. So I used different materials that can be found around the house, such as cotton and plastic bags and shredded paper. So I used the sound level meter, which is basically something that you can use to measure sound, and I used it to measure the volume coming out from each soundproof box to see which household material would do the best in soundproofing. And I learned that even using a common household material like cotton, it would still make a difference in the sound that you hear.
Wow. That is great.
So I want our parents to stand, please. I want to thank you.
So I see you have another one coming up.
Oh, yes, and a sister at Chino Hills High, right,
Oh, okay.
Samantha? Junior high. Samantha? Oh, gosh, I can't count today. See, I'm not smarter than a 5th grader. I'm really not. But I want to thank her family for the legacy that you have instilled in your children. They are not only bright and gifted. What's more important to me is how kind, caring, and respectful they are. And I love how involved Dad is. You're very quiet, but every morning I can find him at the gate, and he watches and he waits. He asks his questions, and he's on his way. But I really love that you take the time and that you model that, and you have done an excellent job with your children. And I'm trying to get that one to start school a little bit earlier. Okay. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Good evening. My name is Robert Nelson. I'm the principal of Townsend Junior High School, and after years of judging science fair projects at the district level, it's been a mission of mine to see an increase in participation at the junior high level. So I have to hand it to the teachers of Townsend Junior High School because they took that vision, and this year every student at our school completed a science fair project.
Wow.
So the junior high level was well represented this year. So hats off to our Townsend teachers. At this time, I would like to introduce Audrey Sagata, Win Pai Cheng Peng. They represented Townsend Junior High at the 8th grade level. And not only did they earn a gold medal at the regional competition, but they represented Townsend and Chino Valley Unified at the state competition at the California Science Center, and they came away with the prestigious 3rd place medal.
Wow.
So Wayne and Audrey, go ahead and come on up here. Tell us about your project.
So in our project, we tested the effects of auxin, of the plant hormones auxin and gibberellin on a plant species called Brassica rapa. And auxin and gibberellin are naturally occurring plant hormones that are naturally occurring within the plant, and plants need them in order to survive. And auxin helps with the meristematic areas of the plant, while gibberellin helps with more of the germination parts.
So what we found during our experiment was that we found that height was not always the best accurate depiction of plant health, and we also found that the combination of 100% auxin or 0.2 grams of auxin can be easily applied to plants using water-soluble auxin and can stimulate growth in height, number of leaves, pods, buds, and flowers.
Wow.
And so for that, we conclude that auxin can be easily applied and used in in the field of agriculture and modern day farming.
And we also found that since farmers often spray on their hormones onto their plants, we could just use auxin and gibberellin solution, and they could just apply that solution onto their plants, and it'll be much safer for the environment and for the plants, and as well for us consumers' health.
Mr. Cruz.
Just real quick, I know you guys use bok choy, right? Bok choy?
We use a species related to bok choy.
Oh, but it's not edible.
It's the mustard that grows in the hills.
I thought maybe it was bok choy, so maybe it grew like this big. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Mr. Na.
Well, this is amazing. So when in the future we get food shortage, I need to follow you guys around. But also, where are the boys? Oh, we got excellent girls. See, our parents are nodding, huh? Yeah, but this is like, oh, amazing. So proud of you guys. Thank you.
Girls.
You guys been really blessed with good brain. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So cute. The baby.
Great job and congratulations. Thank you, parents, for being here. Thank you for all your support that you give to your children and to other children, not just your own children, but thank you so very much. As you can see, it makes a difference.
Yes.
Okay, so we are now at comments, no students, so we are now at comments from employee representatives. Denise Arroyo, CSEA President.
Good evening. Kind of hard act to follow.
Right.
You know, they were wonderful, and how they can speak so well at that age is unbelievable, because I get a little nervous when I come up here myself. So, anyway, I want to congratulate those in the Odyssey of the Mind. I remember when the program was implemented here in the district on a test pilot kind of thing. That was years ago, so I'm glad to see it still going strong. Also, congratulations those for the Science and Engineering Fair. That's just amazing. I do want to address an issue that occurred last week. Apparently, the students from Chino Hills High flew into LAX last week. They waited for approximately 3 hours to be picked up. Really not sure how they were supposed to be picked up. However, our wonderful Facebook, they were blaming the CVUS bus drivers. I want to make it clear to everyone, the bus was chartered. Our CVUSD bus drivers were not involved. Secondly, I want to acknowledge our teachers on the upcoming Teacher Appreciation Day. We have great teachers here in our district. I've personally worked with many of them. I want to say thank you for what you do daily for our students. Many stay beyond their contracted hours and go beyond the call of duty. And teaching is definitely not what it used to be. So thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Wow.
So next we have Todd Hancock, ACT President.
One thing I've always enjoyed at the board meetings is seeing the successes of our students, the impact of our teachers and staff in their lives, and I think tonight was pretty awesome. I'm going to have to go back to school and learn some more. One of my favorite classes in college was botany, and yet they're talking. I didn't even hear this. I have no idea. So it's pretty amazing to listen to these students, 4th and 5th graders, at the level they are. So I want to recognize that. I have several thoughts tonight that I'd like to, some sayings that I'd like to say. First one was Andy Warhol says, they always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. I want to remind everybody that next board meeting in 2 weeks on the 18th, ACT will be recognizing their unit members of the year. We'll be handing out 20 scholarships, the highest number we've done in a long time. We also have 3 special recognition awards that we will be handing out or recognizing as well. Remind everybody that Day of the Teacher is May 10th, and this week happens to be the National Teacher Appreciation Week as well. So think of your teachers, especially as we're closing in. They've had a long year just like everyone else. Demi Lovato says, I try to keep real. I don't have time to worry about what I'm projecting to the world. I'm just busy being myself. Arnold Glaslow says, success is simple. Do what's right, the right way, at the right time. Charles Kettering said, you can't have a better tomorrow if you're thinking about yesterday all the time. So tonight's actually probably one of the hardest talks or speeches I've ever given at a board meeting. I remember 4 years ago this week when Justine Cunningham stood up and announced that she is retiring and announced me as taking her place and invited me up to come and speak. And here it is 4 years later, if you can believe it's been 4 years. I have been either vice president or president of the association for the last 10 years. And then I was part of the association for 2 or 3 years, PAC chair for a couple of years before that. So I've been really involved in ACT for a long time. Tonight I'm announcing that I will be stepping down as president of the Associated Chino Teachers as of June 17th, 2017. I think it is time, and I think it's an important time that we have the association get some new leadership, keep going in the areas in which they're going. And so with that, I'd like to just recognize a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to recognize Denise. One of the things I did early on is we contacted each other and we started meeting together once a week for an hour and just talk about things that are happening and what we can do to help and how we can be more unified and how the teachers can appreciate CSCA more and what they do in the classroom and vice versa. And so I've created, I believe, a very good friendship with Denise. I hope that someday that I'll be as good as be invited to some of her Christmas parties. That's an inside joke, by the way. But I have really appreciated her friendship and her counsel and her direction in those times that we've met, and I will miss them greatly. I will miss the board. We've had a lot of ups and downs over the years. I remember my first year, we were in some very controversial, hard bargaining issues. I'm sure that I said some things that maybe weren't the nicest things to say here at the podium. One thing you will know of me, if you haven't known already in 4 years, I'm a very passionate person who I believe in fighting for what is right. And I really believed in the things that I have promoted in ACT over the last 4 years. I believe that just as I did as a teacher, when a student comes and talks to me and says this is a big problem for them in their lives, even though I see it might be just this little, to them it's big, it becomes big to me. I believe in fighting for those that need help and support. And so I've tried to do that. And I know that even as harsh as this last election was, I hope you understand that we did and made choices without knowing the future, how to do things. But I hope you understand we were doing what we thought was right. We tried to stay positive. But because of those issues, I think it's also a good time for us to start fresh and look forward to that. And I've enjoyed meeting with each and every one of you over the 4 years and having conversations, real conversations, behind the door conversation of right, wrong, good, what you can and can't do. I appreciate your honesty that you shared with me, as well as I hope you appreciated mine with yours. I appreciate the opportunities where we can sit down, and even though at the very end of the thing we can agree to disagree, but we understand and appreciate and treat each other with respect and professionalism, of which I hope and feel that you felt that I have done that in the last 4 years, and which you have also done for me. I'd like to tell the cabinet, I've had meetings with them hours and hours and hours, and they probably really hate me to come around because that means it's at least another hour, hour and a half of meeting. Today my meeting with HR was 2 hours long, but I have to tell you that and a lot of times, because we have two different perspectives, I come from the idea of helping the teachers, and I have a very small window to look at. One side of the issue really is what comes to me. They have their side, and they have the big umbrella, and they see the bigger things. They know what their goals and actions and other things are, and I don't necessarily know that. And so I really appreciate them constantly always opening their doors, always willing to listen and talk. And even when we have problems, and sometimes they go a little farther than we want, we've always been able, for the most case, to find solutions that can be happy for both sides. I really have learned a tremendous amount from your cabinet, Mr. Joseph. They think that I'm going across with my hand on the fist, when in reality I'm listening and learning and thinking and pondering, and find on many occasions where I thought and demanded that I was right, have found out that in essence I was wrong, and that I needed to have a bigger picture and bigger understanding and appreciate the role that they have. So each one of you, I thank you very much for your acceptance and your time in helping me be a better me. And hopefully through our times and conversations, we've made the district a little better, and that we've made it a little better for our students and our teachers and our staff. I'd like to thank the district office. I'm sure they too, here comes Sonia. And I know I do my trips down the hallway and walk in the doors and just say hi and do you have a minute and all that other stuff. But I have truly appreciated their acceptance and their honesty with me. Listening to my counsel, my understanding, and my issues. I have a lot of respect for the district office. One of my biggest concerns coming in, and it still is my concern, is there's still a separation between the district office and the sites. That somehow our teachers and even our administrators don't always seem to catch the same vision that I hear when I'm up here at the district office. I hope that that can close. I will tell you also, in the last year and a half or 2 years, I have seen and felt a great movement from when I first came in and said that Justine created a world of cooperation, that I wanted to create a world of collaboration. And I've seen a lot of movement in the last year, year and a half, of moving towards collaboration and listening and working and trying to do what's best for our students through the teachers and staff. I'd like to also, I know that a lot of them are leaving or are left, but I want to know the site administration. I used to be the anti-administrator because I never wanted to be administrator. I just wanted to be in the classroom, and administrators are those people who simply didn't want to deal with the students every day or wanted to get a bigger paycheck. I have to repent of that, because that is just simply not the case. Our administrators in our district are very outstanding. They are, I'm going to say it bluntly to the cabinet, they are overworked. They are have high expectations for them, and there's a lot of responsibilities on their shoulders. I cannot imagine being a principal and do the things that our principals have to do and need to do, and still connect with the students, know their students by name, and then connect with the teachers. And so some of my best opportunities and meetings have been with site administrators. The love that they have for their staff and the willingness that they want to do. The phone calls that ring when they say, I've got a problem, I need some help. What is your advice? And I've been some of the best. I'm not here to name names and list the names because there's way too many. We have 35 schools, and every administrator at those schools has a huge job, and I do have a great understanding, a better understanding, a great appreciation and admiration for our administrators, for what they do, what they're asked to do, and what is expected of them, and what they do, because they literally do the things that are asked of them to do. I also want to recognize the community. I wish there were more here, because I've been here. I've been over at Woodcrest or Don Lugo, where there's 200-300 people. Some like me, some don't. Most don't know me, but since I have that union task on me, they say and do things and recognize certain things. But I have to tell you, overall, the community, what an outstanding community. I moved here 28 years ago or 29 years ago with my wife and family so our kids could go through this school district and be part of this community. The greatest goal we had in my life and my wife's life was to become teachers in the district in which we live, because we felt that that would be a connection and would be important, because it really is fun to meet our students and our parents out in the community, to go to an activity in the community and support our students. I am one of those teachers that shows up at the soccer fields on Saturday or the basketball games on Friday night, because I just feel that that's part of the community. I want to recognize the value and let the community know how important they are in the education of our students. They are the key factor. The families are the key factor of the success of our students in this class, whether it's a single mom or two parents or whatever, foster kids or foster parents, whatever range they are in, minority or white or whatever it is. They are a valuable aspect to our students and to the education and the future of our students. And I appreciate how well our community gets involved in how we help our students be successful. And we see that tonight with the awards. We see that every week, where certain parents show up every week at a board meeting because they want to make sure that they know what needs to be done to help our students be successful. I love my teachers. And I use the term my teachers because I have been their representative for the last 4 years. It's really hard for me to see how hard my teachers work. And I fight for them for at a time, for recognition, for just a simple thank you that they deserve each and every day. They come in so... our attendance of our teachers, for the most part, is outstanding. They come sick. They come under family duress. You know, it's amazed to me that some lose their parents and they're in school 2 days later. Their kids are sick and they're still in school to teach our kids of our community. They are the greatest individuals I have ever had the privilege to be called one of them. I hope that my little legacy, if there is any, is that I love my teachers and I support my teachers in every aspect that they have. When they're successful, when they struggle, when they make a bad choice here and there, they can always, I hope, could count on me that I will be there to help them, strengthen them. The hardest times is when we've lost quite a few of our teachers to passing away. It's like I've lost part of myself. And I'm sorry for being so emotional. I'm just an emotional person. I'd like to thank Mr. Joseph, who has become a mentor to me over the last 3 years. Since we started to work on those first back bargaining problems we had in the working and talking and saying, what can we do? He has been a great mentor to me, and we've met at least once a month during the last 2 years, and in many cases, I'll just walk in his office and he'll welcome me in and we'll have a few moments and talk, and he has taught me a lot And even tonight when I walked in, he gives me that little bit of counsel to be an optimist. And things look good, and things will be great in the future, no matter what choices we make in our lives. And I appreciate that. And last of all, and the hardest of all, you know, I stand out in the limelight a lot, whether I'm quoted in the newspaper or I'm talking at a board meeting, but there's somebody even greater than I am that is behind me, and that is my wife. I spent last Monday about 15 minutes to the rep council talking about how grateful I was of my wife. Because, you know, it's really hard to hear all the stuff that's happening to you, good, bad, or otherwise, and then she asks you what's going on, and you look at her and say, I can't tell you, it's confidential. And she's been so gracious because she doesn't ask me. She doesn't move on, and she just accepts it. And ever so often, she gives you that little quiet, and sometimes not so quiet, counsel. When I'm heading the wrong direction, she's happy to tell me. She is the love of my life. She is my life. She is the greatest person I have ever met. I love her more than life itself. I know that there is a God because he sent her to me. I know that he loves me because she loves me. And I'm just very grateful. And I will never be able to pay her back for what she has done for me as a person, as a teacher, as a leader, and as her husband and father of her children. I give her all the kudos of my life. Warren Buffett said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. I hope that the trees that I've planted someday will give shade to those that go after me. Kelly Larned will be my vice president, who will step forward in June 17th and be the interim president until there is an election. And so in closing, Ernie Harwell says it this way: it's time to say goodbye, but I think goodbyes are sad, and I'd much rather say hello. Hello to a new adventure. So I say to all of you, hello.
Thank you, Mr. Hancock. Champ Representative is Yvette Farley? No, that's not Yvette Farley, but I know.
I really don't want to go next after that. Todd, thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate it. Hi, Board, Cabinet. My name is Trevor Carenzo. I'm currently the assistant principal at Wickman Elementary. Learning a great deal under Mr. Rummel over here. Yvette couldn't be here today. She's at an AXA event, so she kind of voluntold me to come tonight. So I'm here on behalf of Champ, which I'm honored to be a part of. Good evening, board members and cabinet. I would like to thank those who attended the AXA Regional 12 Recognition Dinner on April 12th, honoring our very own Director of Access and Equity, Mary Salcido, and Principal of Walnut Elementary, Karen Morales. It was a pleasure to witness two well-deserving CVUSD administrators receive accolades for a job well done. It is our hope that we continue to represent our district and the county in the future by continuing to dedicate ourselves to providing excellent educational experiences for both students in our district. I was also in attendance at that, and it was amazing. We represented Chino Valley very, very loudly. It was great. I would want to encourage all Champ members who have a graduating senior this year to apply for our Champ Scholarship. The deadline for application is May 10th. Please contact Yvette Farley at Cortez Elementary for an application. Champ held their election for the 2017-2019 school years, and Yvette Farley has been re-elected to continue her representation of Champ. And as you know, we've spoken about already a little bit that teacher appreciation and classified employee appreciation has begun. Champ would like to acknowledge our teachers and classified employees who have dedicated themselves to our school and community. And briefly, I would like to say every person has a story to tell. Currently, the trend of comic book characters has us all trekking to the movie theater to captivate us in a storyline recapturing periods of our childhood where we believed we could fly or save a city from disaster. Well, our ACT and CSEA employees model behavior that deem themselves our modern-day superheroes. Our students need heroes and guidance as they learn to be a part of our great community here in Chino. Those who choose to work in the field of education, regardless of their position or title, have the power to inspire and transform. From a friendly hello to just giving a child the reassurance that help is there, they have a great impact on the way our children view our world. They may not have comic book superpowers, but their superpower resides in their ability to arrive every day with the commitment to help our students. Our community will always need people to work with our youth in every capacity, instilling in them that there is a bright future for all. CHAMP wants to thank all of our ACT and CSCA employees who have faced the drama, excitement, and suspense alongside administration to ensure that our students keep hope that the world awaits the magnificent contributions they will bring in their future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our community liaisons, and I see Mike Krieger shaking his head no, so he has no comment. Thank you. Okay, so, and I don't see any other community liaisons here, so we're not, comments from the audience on items not on the agenda. Pat, are there any requests to speak?
One request.
One request, okay, so speakers, you're going to be called in the order the request was received, the number one. Please listen for your name, be prepared to approach the podium. Any comments on agenda items will be accepted during consideration of that item. Once the board has commenced deliberations on a particular issue, speaker cards will not be accepted. The board is very interested in your comments, but please bear in mind that the board typically does not respond to comments during this time on the agenda as it is reserved specifically for public comments. Individual members may respond during board comments at the end. And Mr. Null, will you please explain the light system?
Yes, speakers, you have 3 minutes to make your comments. Please begin your comments at the green light. The yellow light indicates you have 30 seconds. The red light indicates your time is over. And before you begin your comments, please adjust the microphone so you can be heard clearly. And audience members, please refrain from making comments while speakers at the podium, as it is disruptive and disrespectful.
Speakers, please remember that in accordance with Board Bylaw 9323, Bylaws of the Board Meeting Conduct, limit remarks to 3 minutes total. The board would like to remind you that there is an existing board policy 1312.1 for anyone who wishes to file a complaint against a district employee. The first speaker is Nicholas Welsh.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Welsh, and I am here to talk to you about homework. I am in 2nd grade, and I think we have too much homework. I made a petition for no homework, and I have my class, half of my class behind me, and I plan to get more signatures by the end of the month. I think more people feel just how I feel. Your children already spend 7 hours at school, and then you have homework. Children should be outside riding their bikes and playing with their friends. I don't think homework is fun. Parents yell at you.
Flory.
All the time because of homework, and that makes them hate homework even more. When I started this petition, my teacher signed it, and I was excited. But the next day, I told her I was taking it to the school board, and she took it off.
That was the end of that. So could you please tell the teachers to not to give homework? Thank you and good night.
I don't think Mom proofread that one. That's good. Thank you, and we will take it to the superintendent.
And Mr. Todd Hancock.
Oh, goodness, that was good. Okay. So we are now at changes and deletions. Pat, are there any changes or deletions?
The following changes and deletions are on the agenda. Item 3B2, Business Services, Fundraising Activities, page 26, under Chino High School, Great American Coupon Book Sale. Correct the dates to read from May 5th, 2017 to August 19th, 2017. And item 3C1, CIIS, Student Expulsion Cases, page 31, case 1617-39 is deleted from the agenda. Item 2C2, CIIS, School-Sponsored Trips, page 32 is yellow sheeting, adding an additional trip. And item 3E1, Human Resources, Certificated Classified Personnel, page 49, under Appointment, Extra Duty, add the name Dennis Lattimore. Boys Basketball, Chino Hills High School, effective May 5th, 2017. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So we are now at the action item, so would you please announce the item?
Item 2A1, Declaration of Need for Fully Qualified Educators for the 2017-2018 school year.
And that is to recommend the Board of Education approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2017-2018 school year. Are there any speakers?
No speakers.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
May I have a second? It's been moved by Mr. Noss, second by Mr. Cruz. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. This concludes the action item, and we are now at consent items. Are there any speakers on consent items, Pat?
None.
Okay, so board members, do you have any pulls? Mr. Cruz? Mrs. Blair?
No pulls.
Mrs. Fikes?
None.
Mr. Knopf?
I have none.
Oh, yay, and I have none.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, so for the consent calendar, may I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
That was quick. Mr. Knopf makes the motion, Mrs. Blair makes the second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes with a vote of 5-0. Wow, okay. Let me just scroll down. We are now at information items. Are there any questions or comments on the information item, board members? Seeing none, we will move on to communications. Mr. Cruz.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations to Don Lugo High Dance team on its wins at nationals. Don Lugo High Dance brought home 2 national titles at the USA Varsity Dance Nationals. First place, open medium lyrical and open small lyrical divisions, and second place in hip hop. They also performed at Magnolia at the art showcase. Fantastic, really good, fantastic job. They're great dancers. Ayala High Color Guard wins gold in Southern California competition. The gold medalist in the Scholar World Division of the Winter Guard Association of Southern California Championship. Mr. Noah and I attended the Chino Hills concert. Amazing. Townsend, the jazz, professional. It is far out there, and fantastic job. I attended the San Bernardino Bells Award, and what was real nice is that President Orozco was the presenter, and you did a fabulous job presenting.
Thank you.
So well done. And I also attended the boxing event. They had two people that stand out, that stood out. The award, there was one award given out to someone named Judy D. White, and one of the inspirational people at the boxing award night, his name is Joey. But both of them had common elements. Both of them had to strive to pursue their goals. Joey was a gangbanger in Chino, and now he is he works under the chief of the chief at San Diego, and he's a director. And Judy D. White, she is the superintendent for ROCE, and it's amazing. These two gentlemen, the lady and the gentleman, that their pitfalls and their challenges still made them pursue their goals, their career goals. And in reflecting on those career goals, I saw 2 points from them, two things that I thought of. And that was they had to retain knowledge and understanding and experience in pursuing these goals, and the power of words, language. And those two were needed to go where they're at. And when I think, and also let's not forget will and our belief system. But those two aspects are very critical, and that is, for a person to pursue college or a career, you need knowledge and prior experiences and the power of language to pursue further. So these were great people to hear their stories and their experiences. And I just want to say this. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause. The man in the arena. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Mrs. Blair.
So I want to begin by acknowledging Nicholas for your bravery and in standing up there and advocating on not just your behalf, but you said you have signatures from fellow classmates. So I look forward to receiving that. Keeping in line with that, I received 6 letters from students at our Chino Valley Learning Academy, which I've given to Ms. Chen. But what they are asking for is similar to what Nicholas, they're advocating for themselves. And so they're asking for things like the opportunity to be able to bring skateboards to school, because a lot of them walk to school and there's no transportation and they can't afford bicycles. I'm not going to read them all, but this one was kind of cute. I'm a student at CVLA. I'd like you to know that the food at CVLA is not that good. I would like to see the menu change to offer more variety, such as chicken nuggets and fries. I would also like to see a vending machine on our campus. It will be helpful if we do have one, so whenever we're hungry, we could just go outside and get some snacks. Some advocated for not having to wear collared shirts. Others advocated for a later start time because they feel starting school at 7 a.m. is too early. They prefer to sleep in. And they have other requests, but it's just important to acknowledge their letters and that they've been passed along. We'll try to improve lunch, but my son's been advocating for the return of orange chicken and rice, and that hasn't happened. So, but we can always try to improve that upon which we can. And I think the skateboard issue is being looked into. The collared shirts, I will continue to support, but I'm sure staff will read their letters and see if we can make any other enhancements on their campus. I also want to thank the Chino Rotary for presenting 20 of our teachers with $5,000 in mini grants. These funds are intended to help teachers purchase supplies in order to support the education of our students. So thank you very much to the Chino Rotary. Chino Police Department will be hosting the first ever Summer Youth Mentoring Camp from June 5th through the 9th for students entering the 7th or 8th grade in the upcoming school year. Space is limited. Parents must apply by May 16th. Visit our Facebook page for the link to apply for this great program. And I want to close by recognizing Todd as a fellow union president. I know how difficult it was for you to step down, and also for the 4 years that you've had to deal with many personalities and many requests. But I just think it's important for me to acknowledge our many sit-downs where we attempted to gauge each other and get to know each other and test the waters, because we're from two sides of the political spectrum. And I do appreciate your open-mindedness when it came to such discussions. And in the end, we realized that we were more alike than we were different. And but that took effort on both sides. So I want to recognize you and acknowledge that that meant a lot to me. So we will see each other around, I am sure. And I wish you all the best. And with that, I have no more comments.
Thank you, Mrs. Blair. Mr. Na.
Thank you, Nicholas, for coming up to the podium and really spoke to us. It's not, as an adult, we should not take just saying it's a very cute. The young student from Oak Ridge would come and speak for no homeworks. But I have seen the study before, or the writings. There are school districts, maybe not even in this country, but maybe other countries, where there is no homework. Actually, kids would do their studying and finish their homework at school at the same time. So when they go home, they have less stress. As you said, you can go out play sports and not worry about finishing homeworks next day and turning them in. So I think you have a valid point. And those who have the students that are supporting you, maybe they might not have to do homeworks later on. And then the other half, they might have to still do it. But here's the deal. When you look at Einstein, he brought these crazy ideas that drove the teachers nuts. And he was even expelled from it. But he was asking valid questions. So keep asking those questions and look for the changes, as long as it brings the value, the moral value of society up, not down. That's very important. So thank you for coming and speaking tonight. And I'm sure our staff members have heard it loud and clear, and I have. So I'll keep working on it. Thank you. I was able to visit Buena Vista High School with Chino President Warren, and he was able to talk to many students, and there were students that were asking many questions. And we agree on one thing, because the principal, Rigo Vasquez, this is a continuation high school, but we have sent 2 students to four-year university last year. So everyone at any time has a chance to recover and become successful. And he was really moved, the warden was. And I said, there are 2 things that's out of our control. And it's a big thing in your life. That's your birth and your death. We can't escape from it. As Todd has said, we meet so many people. Birth and death. So take this life seriously. Not to be in a drama, but here to make a good movie. Not only for me, not only for my family, but for others and for our country. And anyone can do that if you set your goal. If you don't have a target, you'll never hit the target. But you set up your target and you'll get there. When taught it, we need to give value on all people, whether it's for white or minorities. But when you look at deeper, because I had that conversation with students and parents about bullying and all that. But we have a problem here in our life. Yes, we worry about passing, people getting old and senile or even diseased. But we become a society where we do not celebrate life as much that we should. Celebrate all kinds of life, small, tall, anybody. That includes born and unborn. When we celebrate life, the one life, one chance on this earth, then everyone is important. But when you cross out, well, it has to happen. Well, some people make front page because there is a kidnapping. But there will be a drive shootings, but it won't make front pages anymore because where you live and who you are. Because we do not celebrate life. So we agreed that we need to celebrate our lives, start from unborn to born, to young, to middle age, and elders. So that's my comment tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Na. Mrs. Fikes.
First, I wanted to start by recognizing Chino High School received a 6-year term of accreditation from WASC with a 3-year revisit. That is a huge accomplishment. I wasn't really surprised because they put on a spectacular welcome for their committee, really highlighting what they've done well. And so I hope they are celebrating as they move forward on those goals and objectives. But it's a very big success for them, and I'm really proud of them. Secondly, last night I was at Country Springs for their music spring fling, and I was so impressed, as I was tonight with you, Nicholas, as well as all the children who presented in the opening. Each song was introduced by a student, told the composer, their own name. It was quick, but no one appeared hesitant. I was just so proud of them. I couldn't have been more proud of them than if they'd been the teachers doing it. And we saw it again tonight with our students here, and so I really herald our staff, all of our staffs, for helping our students advocate for themselves, speak for themselves in a really admirable way. So I appreciate that. And that concludes my comments this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Fikes. Mr. Joseph.
Percussion drumline teams from Chino Hills and Ayala High Schools are the best of the best after taking winning gold medals in 2 top divisions at the Winter Guard International World Championships in Dayton, Ohio on April 22nd. A third team from Ayala took the bronze medal. Students in our music and color guard programs have been winning awards all spring. Check out their accomplishments on the district's website. Well, Todd, you're letting it go, huh, buddy? You know, leadership is something where people need to know when it's time. And I commend you in knowing that it's your time. I'm going to miss our conversations. I'm going to miss the fact that maybe we didn't always agree, but we respected one enough to have good dialogue. I'm also going to miss seeing Mary look at you up there at the podium. I've told you, I wish every wife would look at their husband the way she looks at you, with love and hanging on every word that you say. It's really something to behold, and I will miss that. We both know that sometimes we're not a prophet in our own land. Sometimes the price of leadership is that our biggest detractors are sometimes our own people. But you withstood everything. You're leaving with dignity and grace, and I commend your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Okay, so I will begin with the usual, my retirements, the retirements for our district. So beginning with Karen, and I know I'm going to butcher some of these last names, so I apologize in advance. Okay, Karen DeDepo, 22 years of service at Butterfield. And this next one I know I'm going to do. I'm sorry. Mary Optwine. Come on, Wayne, how do you say that? How do you pronounce that? Opakowitz. See? I would have never. Teacher at Cattle, 2 years of service. Linda Toth, 26 years of service at Cattle. Tina Costantino Lane at Newman Elementary, 26 years of service. Deanna Rodriguez, 16 years of service at Townsend. Ruger DeParty, 37 years of service at Boys Republic High School. And our Director of Risk Management, Mr. Dan Mallon, 9 years of service. You are truly, truly going to be missed. All your knowledge. Thank you. We have Melinda Banchich, 25 years of service at Cattle. Deborah Doctor at 25 years of service at Cortez. Diane Gutierrez, 27 years of service at Dixon. Gloria Gonzalez, 12 years of service at Lytle. Kathleen Nagel, 20 years of service at Don Lugo. Terry Lynn Martinez, 12 years of service in transportation. I just want to wish everyone a wonderful retirement. Have fun, enjoy, and thank you for your service. Okay, so Todd, I figured I'd throw you in there. You're not really retiring, I take it, but you're retiring from ACT. So I just want to say that although we may have not always agreed, I appreciated you and your service, and so I thank you for that. I also appreciate, as a teacher, the connection that you had with your students. I know that because of my son, who you were one of his favorite teachers, and so I thank you for your connection to the students. And along with what Mr. Joseph kind of alluded to, one thing that I have always admired about you and your relationship with your wife is the love that you share openly, and just, it's so sincere. And I just appreciate that. It's truly something to be admired. But anyway, I wish you good luck in your next venture, and thank you again for your service. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go backwards on some things that occurred a bit ago. But before I do that, I'm hoping that all principals have received the Golden Bell Awards flyer. And I'm hoping that they've received it. If they haven't, please send it out to principals. Because for the San Bernardino County School Boards Association, we actually honor the Golden Bell Award winners who are from San Bernardino County. So this past Golden Bell, I was able to participate. And to see the projects that were awarded, no disrespect to everybody else, but we have great projects in our district, some that definitely outshined some of those. And I can only think that it was because we didn't apply. So let's make sure that we get them out to the schools, and let's make sure that they apply for that Golden Bell Award. Okay, so from prior, we had the Principal for a Day, which was a great event. I didn't get to stay for the whole thing, but I want to congratulate Brenda on handling that all by herself. The decorations were great. It was great. So congratulations, Brenda, wherever you're at. And we had ROP Student Success Award Ceremony. So it was a great event. It was very well put together, very organized. But I want to thank Mr. Joseph, who attended that evening. So thank you. If anybody knows, he really doesn't go to those events. But I want to thank you, because we did have several of our students being acknowledged, and so it was a nice surprise. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. DA out Don Lugo had their We Remember program, which was it's always touching. And that was one of the programs that got a Golden Bell Award. So you see, I know that we can really do some great stuff with that. But anyway, great program. Once again, thank you, Mr. Pope, for putting that together. I appreciate you. Also, I want to say kudos to Miss Yarboy at Ayala High School. So the last few years at graduation, she has boasted that she has attained 100% graduation rate. And so I asked her if I could sit in and find out how she's, whether it's 100% or close to 100%, how she's doing that. And it was really intriguing to see her and her staff and her counselors strategize and plan how are they going to reach students. And so kudos to the outreach that they have for the students. As Mr. Cruz alluded to, I was able to participate in the 2017 Spring Awards, Distinguished Service Awards. It was a great event and very well attended. I also attended the Saddle Up for Townsend Junior High's 30th anniversary. You know, it was a really nice event. It was well put together, very well attended for something that was, I think it was their, well, 30 years. It only comes once. But it was very well put together. And the band played. Okay, so now you know why Chino Hills High School and Ayala have such great programs, because it starts at the junior highs. They were incredible. I would venture to say that they could probably beat some of the high schools if they went into a competition. And so they were just amazing. So kudos to them, Mr. Nelson. I appreciate you giving all the staff the credit for putting that together. And I notice he does that quite a bit, so kudos to you. Okay, let's see here. Don't need that one. The only other thing, I did have the opportunity, I want to say thank you to Assemblymember Freddie Rodriguez, as well as Sue Ovitt and her Assistant Superintendent of Business. We had the opportunity to meet and discuss the impact that the CalSTRS and CalPERS is having, the impact that it's having on districts. But I also want to say kudos to Ms. Sandra Chen, who provided me with the information, the report that she put together. The report that she put together is now being used by the County of San Bernardino to see how the impact is affecting all the schools in San Bernardino County. So kudos to you. Thank you for the information. I know that, and I apologize, Sue Ovitt is as a board member at Chaffee Joint Union High School. I know the main reason was for the CalSTRS and PERS, but quite frankly, I actually threw in a little bit more. I actually threw in the fact that as a district, we are underfunded. We actually, and I just want to share this. For San Bernardino County, we are actually the 6th lowest of 33 counties for San Bernardino County. For statewide, the average unified school district, excuse me, receives $9,380. We receive $8,474, so we are well below the average. I will be attending the CSBA Delegate Assembly, where board members will be getting together to discuss funding, fair funding for all our districts. And so, again, thank you for that information that you provided, because it's really helped a lot. Okay, one last thing I just want to say. Where did I write my notes? Nicholas, you did a great job. Earlier today, I was talking about the 4th graders who were not afraid to speak at the podium, and you're a 2nd grader, right? So as a 2nd grader, to be able to stand at that podium and not be nervous and read your notes and tell us what you want, congratulations. You did a great job, because, you know what, I'm going to tell you a secret. Sometimes we have adults up there, and they get so nervous that they can't even speak, that we don't even understand what they're saying. But you did a great job. Or they cry like me. Or sometimes they cry. But Nicholas, you know what? You keep on doing what you're doing. Keep being confident and keep going for what you want. Who knows? Maybe you're going to be up here one day. So thank you very much for being here this evening. With that, I conclude this evening's meeting at 8:28 p.m.